Hello, folks out there. This episode of the podcast is partnered by Audible. Greg, you know what I love about Audible?
What do you love about Audible,
I
John?
don't have to pick up a book anymore and carry it around with me. In fact, I carry it around in my phone, which is amazing.
Yeah, absolutely. They literally keep thousands of titles right on your phone, accessible at any time when you're driving, when you're cooking, when you're mowing the lawn, changing a diaper, doesn't matter. It's all right there at your fingertips, John. They've got podcasts, they've got lectures, they've got some like health and wellness and like fitness series on there that if you just are looking for something to fill that gap, like you're not getting into a book right now, it's all there for you, man.
If you're a member, Greg, what's cool about it is you get 3 titles per month. The first one you can pick whatever you want. Like I've said, I'll probably start hitting up some of those health and wellness books. And then what's awesome is they have 2 Audible exclusives. Exclusives, folks. You can't get it anywhere else.
It's true. That is very true. So if you guys want to get on the Audible train, you can go to audibletrial.com/JATG. That stands for Johnny and the Greg. Hook yourself up with a 30-day free trial. No promises, no nothing. If you don't like it, which I can't imagine you're not going to like it, you can cancel at any time. But the great thing about that is the books you get during your free trial, or if at any time, those books are yours. Like you get to keep them. You can listen to them nonstop, anytime, all the time.
Sounds like a deal to me, man. So if you guys are smart, like I know you guys are, because you already listen to this podcast, sign yourself up, guys. What do you got to lose? It's 30-day free trial, and it's books, it's knowledge. Gotta drink it up.
It is. It is. So one more time, it is audibletrial.com/JATG.
We are springing forward into this week that is actually quite crazy. Greg, Drew Brees retires.
Yeah.
St. Patrick's Day was Wednesday. Happy St. Patrick's Day to everybody out there that the party. We don't party anymore, but we party.
I'll drink at home. I will hoist my cup to Clan McGinnis and the Ulsters.
Yeah. If this is coming out on Thursday, which it usually does, that means the Snyder Cut dropped today. The Falcon and the Winter Soldier are tomorrow.
Wow.
And TheGreg is back from vacation.
It is. Yeah.
Yeah.
Sporting. It was great.
Yeah.
Sporting my new Gryffindor Quidditch sweater.
Oh, you got suckered in, huh, bud?
Oh man, we got suckered in pretty hard. Not suckered because we knew exactly what we were doing. But we're just we're big fans. We're huge fans of the Harry Potter series. The series, the movies, the books, the magical creatures. Never really got much into the video games. But
how much time did you spend in Hogwarts compared to everywhere else?
Oh, at least half of our time.
So 50% of your time at the Universal theme
at
park
Universal Studios.
at Hogwarts.
I would say Diagon Alley, and then we went to Hogsmeade.
No, what's Diagon Alley? Is this something?
Diagon Alley was actually the first one they built. That's the one you've been to, with all the shops.
Yeah,
and they've got the dragon that is on the bank.
Breathes fire, and you can feel the heat.
Yeah. So I had been there on a business trip, like 4 years ago, and so this was my opportunity to take my family. But I had only been to the one side. I only went to the Universal side, because I had like a day to kill before my conference, and I'm like, well, while I'm here, I'm going to take advantage and go to Universal Studios, and so I kind of knew where I was going, but like my kids just lit up when they walked in. Like we walked in,
be cool.
And we did the strategy. We did when we get into the park, we are going straight there because that's the ride that's going to fill up the fastest, is Escape from Gringotts. And the kids are like, okay, yeah, cool. We make it there. They're following me because I know where I'm going the most. Yeah. And we walk through the kind of the fake wall, and you come up, and it just kind of opens up, and they got the music playing. And yeah, their eyes got big. My oldest daughter, who's probably the biggest fan, was just like, "Oh my God, it's like it's real." I mean, just really.
That's cool because knowing your oldest daughter,
Yeah.
she comes across very mature, and I think it would be very fun to watch her turn back into a kid, if that makes sense.
Everybody did.
Good.
My wife was like, "Wow," like down to the very last detail. They've got this down. I was like,
So
"Oh,
she
yeah."
was impressed. They were in awe.
Yeah, and
You were
we
like,
did.
welcome.
Yeah, I was like, "Look where Dad has brought you." And we did. We went straight to the ride as quick as we could. And like you walk in, and this is the thing that has changed since you and I were little kids. You and I were little kids, and we go to like Six Flags Great America, probably in Gurney. And like if you were standing in line for a ride, it was just a metal bar that you zigzag through, and then you get to the ride. That's it.
Yeah.
Well, now like designers are like, no, let's make this. I mean, they're waiting, and in some cases, these rides take over an hour, sometimes 2 hours to get in, depending on how popular it is.
God, do you remember they were like Batman when it first came out at
Oh,
Six
yeah.
Flags. That was a 3.5 hour wait.
Yeah.
And it was cool too because they played the soundtrack and you got to see
Well,
the
it
car.
was really the first ride that I remember doing this, where they tried to make it an experience while you're waiting.
Yes.
So in Batman, you're in like the park setting, like Gotham Park, everything. It's nice, and then you go behind this one wall, and then it's like back alley, sewers, graffiti. It's the dark side of Gotham.
Right.
And in Gringotts, the Escape from Gringotts, it's like the bank. You've got animatronic goblins doing banking. They're talking to you as you walk through. It looks like the inside of a really nice bank. And then you go down into like the dungeon, or not the dungeon, but like the kind of like the vaults, and they have all the vault doors, and then the music changes, and it was just cool while you're waiting to look at all that stuff.
Yeah.
But we hit it perfectly in that obviously some people are choosing not to travel, and it's a limited I think it was limited entry into the park. We got in just fine.
Yeah.
But
Do you have
we
any
did.
butterbeer?
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
But we didn't wait over an hour for anything. I mean, we were just, and so our first ride through the biggest ride on that side of the Harry Potter ride, we went on, and we were zipping through all that stuff. We waited like 15, 20 minutes maybe, got on the ride, got off. I'm like, it still says it's a 20-minute wait. Do you want to go again? Sure. So we went straight in again.
Yeah.
And I think in total we rode that ride 5 times.
That's cool. That's cool.
Yeah.
So it was a good week.
It was great. Yeah. And then I, going to Superhero Island, I got to see it. I mean, my comic nerd kind of showing through.
Yeah.
And yeah, it was great. My kids, when they got into the shops, like the Hogwarts shops, every one of them wanted their own wand. Everyone, my youngest daughter had a birthday the week before we went, and we had asked her, do you want to buy, we can get you Christmas gifts at home,
birthday gifts.
Yeah, thank you. Birthday gifts. We can get you that at home, or we can just wait and you can pick out some stuff at Universal. She's like, I'll pick up stuff. So she puts on a class robe, and she's a Hufflepuff. She took the test and everything. So she puts on she's like, oh, I'm getting this. And okay, sure, that's sure. And then my oldest daughter was like, I'm just going to try one on. I just want to see. She stands in front of the mirror. The mirror talks to you. It was like, ooh, you look great. She's like, I do look great. And she's like, I'm going to buy it. And she had her own, I mean, she's a teenager. She had jobs. She saved up money. She's like, I'm going to buy it. I'm like, okay, yeah.
Yeah.
And they were both just elated.
Cool.
With the tiny thing.
Yeah. My experience at the Harry Potter part of the theme park was I went down there for work. It was Ursula and I, and somehow the company had a private showing. So we went at
Ooh,
night. We went at
nice.
night, and this was like, I think it was going to open up. I think it was like literally brand spanking new, and this was almost like a test. We were almost like the test people.
You're the beta test, yeah.
Yeah. So we walked in there, and there were zero lines. So they had this one ride where it was kind of like the Spider-Man the ride, but it was way better. Way like
That's Escape from Gringotts. That's the
yeah,
ride.
okay. It's like when the dragon breaks through and like the
Mhm.
yes, okay. So that's what we did. I think while we were waiting, I think you're right. There's this place where it actually starts snowing on you. I mean, it's bubbles, but it snows on you unless
Yeah.
they've changed all the insides of
I
there.
don't remember
It was
that
probably
part,
like
but
7 years ago. But the story that I always tell everybody about that is I warn people when they go there, if you're not Harry Potter fans, I mean, go there. It's a fun time. It's an experience. If you've seen one or two movies, you'll catch up on everything. You
sure,
won't be
yeah.
like die hard as like you guys are, where you're picking out the details, which is very cool for anybody that is a geek about whatever
Oh
their
yeah.
thing is. So you go there. My Ursula and I go there, and we take some butter beer. We hate it. It's way too sweet. Way
It's sweet.
too
It's a cream
yeah
soda with like caramel and
yeah.
whatnot in it.
You
Yeah.
know. And we think that did something to us because the next thing we know, in Florida, we're buying scarves. We are buying wands. I bought a wand that has my birthday to it, and
Hmm.
we took all these tests. And you and Greg, you've heard this. You've heard the story many times. I'm telling the audience members, we literally walked like, in Islands of Adventure, it's you can literally tell when you're walking into a different theme park
Correct.
versus Harry Potter. So literally, the minute we literally crossed the threshold, we stopped. And I'm not exaggerating about any of this. We stopped. We looked at each other, and we're dressed in Harry Potter gear. We got wands, and we go, "What the fuck just happened? What just happened? We're not even Harry Potter fans. What's
What
going
did
on
we
here?
do?
What happened here? Like I have like four wands here, and I got a
Yeah.
scarf, and what's going
They
on?" And
got you.
she's like, I don't know, I don't know. I don't even like this snake Slytherin thing. I don't even like this. I go, I know, honey. I don't know what to do with this. So we ended up giving it to you guys. I think we
Yep.
gave a scarf. I think I gave the scarf to Aaron, who's a big fan. I think he got it for his daughter, gave it to his
Yeah.
daughter. Whatever. We got rid of the stuff. Feel better about it now because it's gone to better homes. But for those of you that aren't Harry Potter fans, watch out
Yeah.
because that place will whip you up, and next thing you know, it'll spit you out, and you have Harry Potter tattoos, and you have glasses just like Harry Potter, and you have scarves, and you have hats, and you have robes, and you have wands, and all of that shit. So be careful. That's all. That's my.
Yeah, we
one.
definitely knew what we were getting into. I mean, I'll post a picture on our Instagram. Our at the resort, our like dining room table was just absolutely full of shopping bags that the kids. I mean, we didn't just shop at the Harry Potter stuff, but it just
But
full.
but for you
Full.
guys, it's what you wanted.
Absolutely,
Yeah.
absolutely.
So
That
that's cool.
if Harry Potter had been a Disney property, we probably wouldn't have gone to Universal. I mean,
Okay.
Universal
Makes
has
sense.
some great stuff. I mean, and I'm a huge movie fan. My son is a big Jurassic Park fan, so he was very much into that part of the theme park. The Kong exhibit was actually really cool. I enjoyed that. Um, but really, the draw for us there was Harry Potter,
Cool.
and yeah, it was great. I mean, if I can only imagine what happened to my kids, how they lit up, and I knew what to expect. That's going to be me if and when I ever make it to the Star Wars land
Yeah, I can see
in,
you. Like yeah.
at the
Kim,
Disney.
my sister Kim still talks about it. So
Yeah,
and I'm
that's gonna.
waiting for them to do a Marvel thing for me to go completely nuts.
Yep, that's gonna be my freak out. And I was trying to explain to my. They're like, Dad, why are you not more excited about this? Like, what is? I'm like, do you remember? I'm talking to my oldest. So, do you remember the Mandalorian when Luke Skywalker? By the way, spoiler alert for those that haven't seen the last episode. It's been long enough.
Yeah.
When Luke Skywalker just his X-wing flew in, and I was like, oh, I think that's Luke Skywalker. And then the green lightsaber lit that, and I just went apeshit. I was a little kid. I'm like, it's Luke Skywalker. We're seeing Master Skywalker. Oh my god! And
now, were you saying that out loud, or were you saying that?
Oh no, it was. I was like, oh, it's Luke. It's Luke. I mean, just
did that put your family off? Were they like, what the hell's going on with him?
No, because I think they were like, wow, Dad's getting into it.
Dad's geeked.
I mean,
okay,
yeah, Dad's just tripping out, and you know, while they were still laughing at it because me being all geeked out and excited, they know exactly what that feels like when they see stuff that they love. So.
Yeah, when you came here before you guys hit the airport and you took off, I remember getting upset at you because every time I try to throw something, anything Marvel or DC at you, you don't seem excited. It's not like you don't seem non-excited, but you don't seem geeked out like how I get sometimes. And it bothered me because I remember me, okay, and I remember how I always wanted to see them pull it off. And I think if I'm being honest, what Marvel did exceeded my expectations of what could ever happen. And each time I was expecting, okay, this is when they're gonna fuck up. All right, this is when they're gonna take it.
Yeah,
this is, and they didn't. It never happened. To me, I'm not. Am I saying that every Marvel movie was perfect and every situation wasn't? Insert the Inhumans. No, it's not. It wasn't all perfect, but it was good enough to where you walked away from probably every movie in the movie theater feeling okay. All right, they
worth my money.
Yeah, worth my money. I'm happy. I'm excited to see how this connects or what clue I was given that I'm excited for the next one. Anyway, my point was you never seemed excited, and I think I figured it out. Is it because you're ready to get disappointed? Like you're setting yourself up to be disappointed so that when it happens, it doesn't crush you?
I think that's part of it.
I think
I think part of it is they've set that bar.
Yes.
And to the point now where I'm like, you know, and we've got new, you know, Falcon Winter Soldier coming out. I just saw some stuff on Black Widow that is for sure coming to theaters in May.
Yeah.
And it's one of those things where I'm like, with every Marvel film that comes out, all of the press that they put out, it is the best Marvel film ever. And I'm like, not possible. The latest one can't always be the best one ever. And so I always kind of hold my judgment and expect there to be. Oh, I did. Well, maybe not recently. I remember saying that when
I've
Black
heard
Panther
them
came out.
Oh yeah. No, I think now I've thought for a long time Black Panther got really hyped, and I don't get it. I thought it was a good Marvel movie. It was a Marvel movie, which is actually a compliment. If you call it a Marvel movie, that means it holds up to all the other ones. Now, there's always going to be one or two that eclipse everything else, but Black Panther to me was just a Marvel movie. It was a good movie.
Right.
I'll watch it again. Anytime it's on, I keep it on, but it wasn't one of those where I walked out going, oh my God, I've been changed.
Everything. Yeah, no.
Yeah, I don't look at the world anymore like Wakanda Forever. That's not, no.
My kind of that looking for the failure, I think, is with each new phase, I'm kind of like, okay, where are they going? What are they going to do? Like, I watched a YouTube video today kind of picking apart WandaVision and how that's going to lead into a lot of this new phase.
You think she's being bad guy?
I think they're going to toe that line. I think
they are. I think they're going to toe that line with us and like, is she bad? Is she not bad? Is she bad? Well, I understand why she's bad.
Is she a good person just doing bad things?
Yeah.
Like,
let's just stop
disregard
there for one
for
second.
that. Yeah.
You lose your family and you have the power to bring them back.
Right.
You probably do it.
You do it. It's the idea that she enslaved that entire town to do it.
Yes, and did not apologize at
And
the
was
end.
kind of like, yeah, it wasn't even like a, sorry,
Yeah,
didn't mean to do
my
that.
bad.
She was just kind of like, yeah, I did that. And then
Yeah.
just kind of flew away.
Yes.
And so, and that's kind of that. So what I'm thinking though, the setting up for disappointment
Yes.
is they're going into a multiverse. And traditionally in comics, when you deal with, you know, multiverse, other universes, even like a clone saga, I mean, anything like that,
Yeah.
you're tempting fate to just screw it up. Now, they've had a great track record, and this is like, it doesn't matter. To them, or I guess to the money people, it doesn't matter. They're going to get my ticket money because it's a Marvel film. It's a superhero film coming to the theaters.
So you're waiting for the cliff.
Maybe I'm not waiting for it. I'm just not going to be surprised when it happens.
Oh no, you know what? I won't be surprised. In fact, I'm a little bit with you in terms of I expected it. I expected when I walked into Infinity War, there was a part of me going, what if they don't pull this off? What if you
And
walk in here and you're like, oh my God,
Mhm.
you know, or Endgame, how are they going to end that? How are they? And I'm not saying it's the perfect way to go. I think time travel, I think anytime you insert time travel,
it's one of those things you could screw it up easily.
you could, well, they did screw it up. They did, because there's a lot of unanswered things.
Sure.
There really is. Like, if you watch it again, I don't know if Steve Rogers at the end, if he went back, he replaced everything, stayed back there, did he exist in the current timeline, or did, because he stayed there, he created a new timeline? Or if you remove one of those objects, that's where it becomes a different
Right.
timeline. I don't know.
To me, with
I don't care enough.
there's enough like you said, points of disappointment. I still like the entire series. I still like
Yes.
Endgame, but I still look at it and go, man, did they waste
The
Professor
Hulk.
Hulk? Absolutely wasted him.
Yeah.
And as one of my favorite characters, I go, that's disappointing. That's
Yes.
Professor Hulk in the comics was like not my intro into comics, but I was a pretty young reader at that point. And
That
I'm
was
like,
your.
this could be super cool.
Yeah.
And it wasn't.
Yeah.
So it's
Yeah.
fun.
So
And things that I get, like things that I'm excited about, like I'm really getting jazzed up to see, is the steady increase in coolness for like the Godzilla films. And now we've got Godzilla versus Kong coming out in a couple weeks. And then, yeah, I'm excited. I want
I'm
to see
excited, but I am very hesitant on that because I
that.
already don't like a certain thing that is confirmed. When you first told me that your son had a theory about it, I thought, "Oh God, I hope they don't introduce that thing." But
Yeah.
it's going to be there. I've already seen the toy for it. It's going to
Yeah.
be it's going to be there, and I'm like, ugh.
Yep.
But so I'm a little bit hesitant on that one. I am excited to see it because I was blown away, and we've talked about this in other podcasts. And guys, hang on, we're gonna be hitting a bunch of stuff today. We're gonna talk about the Snyder Cut, Falcon and the Winter Soldier, and kind of where all that is going, and then a little small tribute to Drew Brees, who is one of my favorite NFL players of all time. And so stay tuned for that. Okay. What was I talking about, Greg?
Something coming up. Your excitement for Kong versus Godzilla,
So I'm excited, but I am not.
but you're reserved.
Yeah, I'm reserved. I'm reserved. But let's talk about the Snyder Cut because it dropped today, and it got great reviews.
Uh-huh.
And the reason I want to bring this up is we've done an entire podcast on this, and I think I want to highlight a little bit, go back to it, and highlight a little bit of this could change the game moving forward.
It could, and I think I know where you're going, and I kind of doubt that it will. But that being said, I haven't watched it yet. I mean, it's a
Right.
4-hour
It's a
event.
it's a 4-hour event for sure. That will not be digested in 4 hours in my house. It will
Right.
be snippets. Which side note, I really like that idea. You know, you and I, we grew up getting an issue every month
Yeah.
and having to wait another month until we
Yeah.
got the issue, and
There
that's
was
kind
no
of
binging anything.
yeah, and that's kind of cool about the Disney Plus series. And I don't, are they gonna? Is it all in one? It's
No,
all
they're
4 hours, or are they?
they're dropping it all at one time.
Oh, they're
So you
dropping it all
can
over.
binge it or you can
Okay,
choose to
okay. So,
take
but I like what Disney does because it keeps you coming back every week. It's smart, and if you want to look at WandaVision as a 6-issue comic book, I hear we'll get to Falcon and Winter Soldier, but it's also 6. It's actually that's probably like a 6-hour movie. If you put it
WandaVision.
all together.
Everything is going from Marvel series. They're all going to be 6 hours, but it's how they present them
Right.
is different.
Yeah. And I like it. I think that's cool. It's like
Mhm.
looking at digital comic books, really. I mean, minus the
Yeah.
art.
Well, and I mean the business end of that is that they're keeping subscribers.
Well, not only that, and I
No one is going to subscribe to Disney Plus for a week or a weekend, watch all of the show and then drop it. I mean,
right,
they're going
exactly.
to keep them the entire time.
Exactly. And that's what I mean by the game changer. Like there's a couple of things. Okay, this Zack Snyder thing, I don't think people might not realize this. Um it wasn't ever going to happen, and through fanfare it happened.
Yes.
And
Exactly.
that's a big thing, man, because
Yeah.
Warner Brothers, somewhere along the line, somebody was willing enough or dropped their ego enough to lick their wounds and go, yeah, you know what? We fucked up. We put too much interference in that movie. We didn't let him tell his entire scope of what his plan was. And you know what's funny with all these 4 years of it, because it came out in 2017 or something,
Uh-huh.
and there's this now this there's this acceptance to whatever he's putting out. I'm gonna roll with it,
Yeah.
and that's fine. It may not be the Batman I want. It may not be the Superman I want. It may not be the story I want. But let me watch the whole thing and then see why. Oh, is that why Batman's like that? Is that
Mhm.
why Superman's like that? Is that why, you know? So that's really interesting. I hear it's getting good. I hear it's getting good reviews.
Mhm.
And if it gets a good enough review, I'm already seeing hashtags saying release the Snyderverse, meaning finish this. Because
Yeah.
guys, it hangs on cliffhangers, and from what I understand, and this is a small, very, very small spoiler that's not even really going to make a difference. There's multiple cliffhangers within this movie. So there's a lot of answers. There's a lot of questions that need to be answered, and it won't be answered in this movie, but from what I understand, the plot is very much the same. It's just spread out to add character depth so that you understand who these people are. You
Mhm.
understand what they're trying to do. But going back to my point of that this is a game changer, my first thought of is what happens if Josh Trank, I think his name was, what happens if the movie didn't interfere with his Fantastic Four? Would it have been better? Would it have been worse? Like that, does it open the door for people like that to sit there and say,
Oh, I see what you're saying.
yeah, does that open? And
Um,
I'm not talking about just comic books. Anytime the studio has destroyed a director's vision for a movie,
right.
does it open the door for that? Does it open a door or a small little door to where now you can go onto these subscription services? And not only does this, in my opinion, work better for comic books, but this can work better for any movie that want to tell their story that maybe the story is 5 hours long, but the
Mhm.
studio's like, no, it has to be an hour and a half.
And that's where I don't know. I mean, what we've seen in the recent years is the effect that fandom can have on shifting studio money, studio opinions.
Mm-hmm.
And the biggest one I had seen before the Snyder cut was actually, and I haven't even watched the film, but Sonic the Hedgehog, the movie.
Okay.
They dropped. It was a big deal. I mean, Sonic's one of the biggest most recognizable properties in video games.
Mm-hmm. Sega.
Yep.
Yeah.
Right under
Mario. Mario.
And they did a movie. It's like they did the build up to the preview. They released the preview. You saw the character design for Sonic, and everybody went, "That's fucking stupid."
Mm-hmm.
Like, it's so different. They're like, you're animating a blue super fast hedgehog.
And
Why
you
not?
make it? Did they also try to make him look like real?
Yeah, like they gave him teeth.
Yeah,
Like,
instead
and
of
they're like,
cartoonish.
why don't you make it look just like
Sonic.
the video game?
Yes.
And somebody, somebody had to submit that design. That design had to go through multiple approvals
Mm-hmm.
until the studio said, yes, this is the design that we're going to do. And so when it came out, and like the CGI was well on its way to being finished,
Yeah.
and the fan reaction was so loud that the studio went, "Oh shit!
Yeah.
If we keep this, they're not going to go see the movie.
Right.
We got to change it."
Right.
So they pushed back the release date. They brought in more animators to change Sonic to what the fans wanted to see.
Yeah.
And it worked well enough that I saw today they announced a sequel.
Oh shit.
So you're going, okay. So Hollywood is recognizing the power of the people, because I think now we have so many options. Like I don't have to go see a movie because I can get my superhero fill from somewhere else.
Yeah.
Like if
you're right.
I didn't want to watch Marvel, okay, I'll go watch The Boys on Amazon.
Yeah.
Or something along
Exactly.
those lines.
No, I know what you're saying.
So
And I keep wondering, would this happen? Because now I think
this couldn't have happened 10 years ago. This couldn't
No.
have happened 10 years ago.
No, and I think we have a lot of YouTube to say to that.
Mhm.
Because
Yeah.
they judge how a trailer drops by how many likes versus not likes it gets.
Dislikes, yeah. I mean,
Yeah.
or just, in an instant, someone can create a hashtag, of, fuck Sonic or whatever it is,
Right.
that's trending higher than your market research created hashtag to support your film.
Yes.
And then your film's getting nothing but bad press.
Yeah.
So really that community, the power of the community is actually working in our favor in this case.
Yeah. I agree with you. I think
I think part of the reason, like, with Justice League is a unique animal because like the movie was unfinished from the beginning. Like Zack Snyder had to take time off to deal with family tragedy.
Yes.
And rather, and it became a money decision from Warner Brothers rather than say, hey, you know what, take your time. We'll finish this film. Like, negotiating, like, if we give you 3 months, if we give you 4 months,
Right.
They said, no, we need to keep on our release date.
Mm-hmm.
And we're going to bring in another director who's now a disgraced director and make him finish it or allow him to finish it the way. And then it wasn't even Snyder's vision anymore.
No, it wasn't. I heard 70% of it was was reshot.
And that's what got me. Like, if I guess I thought, even when I was, rewind back in time, and I'm like, they're going to bring in Joss Whedon to finish it. I'm like, okay, so it's Snyder's vision as told by Joss Whedon, and that's not what it was at all.
No,
it
wasn't.
It was Joss Whedon saying, "Oh, I'm not doing any of that. I'm going to do what I want to do."
Right.
And it just made for a very odd film. Now, I watched it the other day, and I'm still looking at it, I'm like, I like that part. I like that part. That part's not bad. I mean, still kind of going through pieces that I liked.
Mm-hmm.
And so I'm really interested to see what this 4 hour, and I've tried to stay pure. I've tried not to look at screenshots, other previews. I don't want to see that because I want to experience it. The thing that's going to get me the most, and I sent you this video today where they talked about the aspect ratio. Everybody's got widescreen TVs now. where
Yeah.
the letterbox is on the top and bottom, if at all, because it
Okay.
fits your screen. He went back to the old, like, I can't remember the aspect ratio, but like,
IMAX. He went IMAX.
well, he went IMAX, but what that does is that it creates black bars on the side of the screen. So
Oh.
it's going to be like you're watching an old school. Like if you had an old, like your old college TV,
Yeah.
it would fit on there perfectly.
Yeah.
But it's not gonna now.
So is that's gonna bother you?
No, I'll get over it. I mean, I'm gonna notice it at first, and then I'll
Right.
get over it.
Yeah.
But his explanation is that it's part of the storytelling. Is that it's all about rising up. That's what the entire series of Man of Steel, Beaver,
Batman
BVS,
versus Superman or
and
Dawn of
Justice League.
Justice.
Yeah, all of that has been about rising up to an occasion. So now, instead of things being very horizontal, they're going to be very vertical. And I'm like, is that you making a conscious decision to do that, or is that you just like, this is what we did, and now I need to make it sound artistic?
I think it's a combination of both.
So I don't know. So
Yeah.
again, I'm gonna watch it.
Me too. I'm absolutely going to watch it. I'm actually looking forward to it. I think I'm actually the only one that's excited in my house.
I need to decide. Yeah, I got to talk to my kids. I'm like, can I watch this without
Yeah,
you guys?
that's what I had to do.
Is this going to be something that you're going to be upset if I watch without you? Because I will stay up.
Yeah.
My
Ursula goes, you watch it. You let me know if I need to. I said, okay.
Yeah.
Sounds good.
Yeah, that's probably going to be the state in my house, I think.
Yeah. And then I think you and I can probably compare notes and run a podcast on it.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I'm really interested to see what this does. Does this jumpstart the DC animated or not animated? Does this start the DC universe? Does this start it again? Or are you going to let Snyder finish his vision? Is this going to, I hear that if it does well, Jared Leto and Ben Affleck are going to do an HBO Max The Batman. Like,
see, and that's what gets me. I mean, because you mentioned Trank's Fantastic Four,
yeah,
and I don't think that's fixable because like that cast has all moved on. I mean, that was years ago.
Yes.
I was shocked when Warner Brothers was able to bring this cast back.
Yes.
To
Do
be
you know
able
that
to finish this
Affleck,
up.
Ben, and Jared did it without getting paid?
Yeah, I had read that, and I think one, it shows you for both of them that they really don't need the money, and B, that's like they're in it for the love of the project.
C, I think they really care about Zack Snyder.
I've heard
nothing but good things about that man.
Oh yeah, I've heard that he's a great cat.
Yeah.
I mean that he's cool to work with. But moving on to like another Snyderverse movie with the same cast. Granted,
that's gonna be tough.
That would be tough, and they're gonna have to recast Cyborg because from what I understand, he's like out. Like he's pissed off enough of the suits. So like, we don't care if Snyder can try to get him back.
I hear it. His performance is like it's a big deal. It's a good deal. He's the heart and the soul of the movie. Now, when I heard that, I was like, shit, because I don't like Cyborg. I never have liked that guy.
Oh, really?
Even when they break down his powers and how powerful he can really be, I'm like, oh,
Sure.
Okay. I don't know why. I don't care about that character.
Well, they're replacing him with what should be Superman's role. And because Superman is supposed to be the human side of the team. Like, because it's juxtaposed. He's the most powerful character of the team, but he's the most human person on the team.
Right.
And they're just trying to do that with other characters in the Snyder Cut. One thing that I think the DC is allowing, and this is where I think Marvel won't go, and eventually I think they're going to have to, just because actors age.
I want to bring that up, by the way, but go ahead.
Yeah. Like DC and Warner Brothers are allowing creators, filmmakers, actors to have different takes on the same character. Like when we're watching Zack Snyder's, series of characters, we understand this is his take on the Flash. This is
Whereas
his take.
Nolan's was also his take.
And Nolan's was his
Burton.
take on Batman. The CW, the TV, the DC, the Arrowverse, those are their takes on the characters. Where Marvel is like, no, like we've got the Falcon in the movies, and that is the Falcon that you're going to see in a TV series, and that is going to be the Falcon you're going to see in the next couple phases. I don't know how they're going to do that.
That's where I think you'll lose me.
And because they haven't set it up for different takes on the same character. And that's kind of the same in the comics too. I mean, Captain America's been the same forever.
Right. But here's the one thing, and I thought about this week when I was thinking about this, because you and I have kind of not butted heads, but you're totally okay with them recasting everybody
Characters. Yeah.
Eventually.
Yep.
I am not. In the movie universe. Okay.
Right.
And the reason I finally I was breaking it down, like, because I understand your point of view that, hey man, there's going to be people that are going to want to see Iron Man and Reed Richards, and there's going to be Iron Man versus
the James Bond effect. I mean, they just have to. I mean,
Right.
If you want to see those characters, you have to recast them.
But what they're doing right now at the MCU is what I think you and I technically always really wanted in our comic books. What's it really like when Iron Man doesn't come back? What's it really like when Steve Rogers retires?
Mhm.
What's it really like? Like, how does life actually move on? Because we've never been answered that. We've gotten maybe an issue here, a series here on what if scenarios of, but it always goes back when Superman dies, you're not worried about it. When Batman dies, you're not worried about it. When they destroy the entire universe like DC has done in their comic books recently, you're not worried about it because they're just going to reboot it. It's just going to start, and now it's new, fresh stories in a new age, and there's no. It doesn't grip you like it did as a kid, and I think the MCU grips you now because, all right, I still and make fun of me all you want, guys. I still get a little emotional when Tony Stark dies in Endgame. I still do. And if he shows up all of a sudden where now it's him, it takes that moment away because you know that in 3 or 4 movies from now, he's going to be right back there. It takes that away. There's no sacrifice. And if you look at Tony Stark's arc the entire time, it's perfect. It's the selfish guy who ended up lying. The thing that Captain America said, you're not the type of guy to lay on the line for everybody else. What I'm saying is right now we get to see the effects of not having Tony Stark in a Marvel universe. We get to see the effects of Captain America not being there anymore. And I think that's exciting, whether it goes in a good direction or it doesn't. And they're lucky because now they're going to start introducing X-Men and the Fantastic Four.
Right.
And there was something that Kevin Feige said about Black Panther. He said, T'Challa, there will never be a T'Challa again.
T'Challa.
They're not going to T'Challa. Sorry. They're not going to recast him because what he did was iconic for that character. Well, if he did that, if that was iconic for his 3 movies he showed up in, you can't tell me that Chris Evans wasn't iconic, Hemsworth isn't iconic, especially Downey isn't iconic.
Right. I don't disagree with you, but my point is, like, if they did standalone Iron Man films, like not integrated with the rest of the MCU, but if they did
one-off,
a one-off or a 3-arc series like Nolan, Nolan did with Batman.
Yeah.
If they did that with Iron Man, with like Luke Evans, from
Okay.
Dracula Untold.
Yes, yeah, I know who you're talking about.
If they
I
did
picture him
that,
more Doom, but okay.
pick an actor with a mustache. I
Right.
don't
Yeah. Yes.
if
Actor with a mustache.
but if they did the recast, if they did that, would that upset you? If it
If you
wasn't
don't give me
connected?
an origin story, if you don't give me an origin story, if you don't make it seem like, hey, this is this guy's version of Iron Man, if you want to say this is Iron Man's continued adventures in between the MCU, but we obviously can't get Robert Downey because he was younger at this time or something, I'm cool with that. But I am not cool if all of a sudden you give me, Man of Iron, and it's a retelling of Tony Stark's origin. I'm not gonna be happy with it. Now, I get you. I get the studio point. The studio point is here. I guess here's the thing. You're talking about how DC does a great job of setting up different versions of different people, and they've actually embraced the multiverse. So that might happen in Doctor Strange, where you're going to see the ultimate Tony Stark, and that could be a completely different actor, and you're going to go, "Oh, I'd like to see what his adventure would be."
Right.
That's cool. I'm okay with that.
But if they bring him into the 616 or the Marvel universe, like if they bring
like Miles Morales,
that
wouldn't bother me.
That wouldn't bother me because that's a different character.
Correct.
If they brought, and they talked about doing this. I mean, that we've heard Tobey Maguire.
I'm not a fan of that, but I want
to might make an appearance. I mean, and that's Peter Parker.
Right.
That is Peter Parker.
Yes.
From another universe.
Yeah, I'm not cool with that. But I'm going to give them the benefit of the doubt until I see it.
Right.
You know what I mean? Okay, if you guys think this is a good idea, I'm with you a little bit. When we start going multiverses and time travel, now it gets to the 10th season of Buffy the Vampire Slayer where you're like, oh, okay, all right. Like, nothing's off. Now all of a sudden she's a lesbian and she's an evil witch. Okay. Like, it starts turning a little goofy. And not that it's not goofy now, but it's so much fun. And I think half of the part of the MCU that I love the most is I'm not disappointed by any of it yet. I'm still like, I still walk out of something. Like I walked out of WandaVision going, oh my God, they did it again.
Mm-hmm. The other thing that could come up, and I don't think they got the nuts to do it, is the whole Secret Invasion thing.
They do. That's coming, man.
I know, but I don't. Secret Invasion, like the comics, versus what they're going to do for the series.
Oh, you mean when they find that spaceship and it's
like
full of the actual of it original?
Yes, I don't think they're going to bring back Tony Stark and be like, oh, the Tony Stark that we knew
was a Skrull. Yeah. Well, the thing is, when they die, they turn back to Skrulls.
Exactly.
So that didn't happen. So. Yeah, I don't know how they're going to do Secret Invasion to where it's going to shake the universe as we know it, because it's a Disney Plus episode. It's Disney Plus. Correct. Now, Kevin Feige has said, and I'm getting all my information from the thing you sent me today. That guy, it's Always Awesome or something like that on YouTube. Mm-hmm. He seems to be really locked in. I get my information from I think 2 other sources, but it seems to me I've heard 2 things. I've heard Feige's not doing they're not doing phases anymore. They're just going to tell stories now, but it's going to connect. I don't know how that works. Maybe they're wrong of that they're not doing phases because all I hear about is phase 4, phase 5. But I lost my train of thought. What was I talking about?
Well, they were getting information from like these in-depth YouTube journalists that are getting it. I mean, like the guy that I sent you today.
Yes.
He's already
Emergency Awesome. That's his name.
Yeah. I was going to try to look that up. But he's watched. I mean, he had the Schneider cut. I think he went the Sunday before it released, and he said he had already watched it 4 times. Yes. So These people are much higher up the food chain than we are.
Yes, absolutely. We'd like to get in that food chain. So if you guys
Sure.
want,
Yeah.
send us
Great.
a week in advance, we'll review the hell out of it. But I don't know where we got. But anyway, let's move on. Let's talk about Falcon and Winter Soldier. Did you see the final trailer I sent you?
I did. Yeah.
What'd you think, bud? Oh, you're gonna do it to me again.
No. I'm excited to see it. I would. I was actually looking at more of the still shots. One, it looks like Anthony Mackie's been working out hard. Like
he knows he's got to be Cap.
He's moving up. He's moving up some levels in the weights because he looks rather like he's packed on some. Yeah, he's jacked. And meanwhile, Bucky looks like he's thinned out a little bit.
Yep.
Interested to see what they're going to do. Like the preview showed like a Captain America marching band almost.
Yeah.
And I'm like, what are they doing? And I know U.S. Agent is supposed to play into this.
Do you know the guy that plays U.S. Agent?
No.
His name is Wyatt Russell. He is the son of Kurt Russell and Golden.
Oh, cool. Okay.
Yeah. He is. Did you just see that movie Overlord?
Yes.
With J.J. Abrams? He was the soldier that was kind of like the hero of the whole group.
Oh, really?
Like, he didn't live, but
right.
he was like that one guy that he was the mission. He was the blonde-haired guy.
Oh. I don't remember his face. I mean, I remember the character, but I don't remember his face off the top of my head. But, definitely Kurt Russell's got great acting chops. So, I look forward to seeing him. I mean, but the idea that they're bringing in that character to kind of like, so the Falcon is not, I mean, even though Steve passed the mantle, the United States did not pass the mantle.
Correct. And I think that's going to be very interesting to see that.
It is. It really is. And, I'm more interested in how they're going to work in, because Baron Zemo is like full on Zemo.
And I like it.
Yes.
I really like it. I like that. I like that purple mask.
Yep. Yeah. I'm interested in more they're showing the action shots, him learning how to ricochet the shield and stuff like that. And that interests me less. And I want to see the espionage. I want to see the cloak and dagger stuff that they're going to do.
Yeah. I think what we're going to get is the Winter Soldier marries I'm Captain America, the Winter Soldier. So that type of feel. Okay. I think you're going to get that type of feel with Lethal Weapon, the two buddies.
Yes.
I guarantee. What do you think the over and under is that at some point during that entire series, Bucky's going to say, I'm getting too old for this?
I think that could be a pretty good.
Yeah.
A pretty good nod. A pretty good chance of that.
Now, my thoughts on it are I wasn't that jazzed any trailer I saw. I was kind of like, oh God, they're just gonna banter back and forth. This sucks. And then I saw this trailer, and I don't know if it was the music or the act or the way they put it together, but I got really super excited for it. And the only thing that turns me off a little bit is if you were to close your eyes and listen to Anthony Mackie, there's Will in there.
Oh, little Will Smith.
Yeah.
Kinda. Yeah.
Just be careful about that. That's all I'm saying, Anthony.
Yeah.
Be the Falcon. From what I understand, the Falcon is not a, hey, man, what's up? He's not. Sam Wilson's not that guy.
I never caught that. Now, I'm not going to say I'm not going to be a proclaimed Falcon expert in terms of the comics, but what jazzed me up about the trailer, wow, I think I caught something on the flight.
Uh-oh.
Got that little tickle in the back of my throat.
Stick airborne?
What? No, I didn't. I took some other stuff, but not airborne. What I liked about this trailer, and that I mean for the action things that I'm interested in, is how are they going to utilize Falcon's wings as like other appendages,
dude,
and watching how they move during flight, I think is going to be
that got me watching that. I'm sorry. Finish your thought.
Well, I'm just going to, because it looks like they're trying to hit like anatomically correct wings maneuvering in the air. I mean, and so I'm going to be interested to see how they do that, along with like it making a shield or slicing something. I mean, whatever it is they're going to do.
Yeah.
Oh,
There's one.
that looks interesting.
Yeah, there's one part in the trailer where he's coming down and he knocks somebody down with his wing.
Yeah.
I'm excited that the way they're making him move, the way that they're the only thing I hope they don't do, and this is part of Falcon lore, I hope he doesn't have to start having like a psychic link to a bird.
No, I think they're doing that through technology.
Yeah, which is fine.
Red Wing.
I'm cool with that.
I think that's what they're going to do.
Cool with that. Now, here's the question I'm going to ask you real quick. Do you think Anthony Mackie, the actor, I heard that he was very hesitant about this role.
Really?
He was very, not about being the Falcon, but about doing Falcon Winter Soldier. He was very, very hesitant because he says, I didn't want to be the show where Marvel finally sucked. Like he said, I didn't want to put out shit. So he was very hesitant to it. And I feel, all right, now hear me out now. Because I think it's kind of important. Okay. And I'm going to go a little race here because I think what's going to happen is there's going to be this back and forth between Bucky and Sam. And I think the whole story arc of Sam is, does he feel worthy carrying the shield and what it means?
Yeah.
And I think it's a good message to send out to people that, Captain America, like there's nothing more Captain America than, a black man holding up a shield and kicking ass and doing good things. So I'm excited about how they're going to use that. And I think Anthony Mackie understands that as an actor and understands right now in this temperament of what it's like out there that it's important.
Yeah. Yep.
So I'm excited about it. And I heard him say that he cried when he saw the final suit. That's all I'll say.
Huh. Okay.
Yeah.
I'm excited because I think there's a lot of like the beginning banter. Like you go back to Civil War.
Yes.
And watch the banter between Winter Soldier and Falcon.
Yeah.
And I thought that was fun.
Yeah.
So I understand like even the Lethal Weapon reference you made, that's going to be interesting.
Yeah.
And then to add to that, Cap gave the shield to Sam.
Yeah.
Saying, okay, you're the next.
Yeah. Like, try this on.
Yeah. I've you're the chosen one kind of thing. I think Bucky's going to have some hurt feelings about that. Because from the comics, both of those characters have been Captain America.
Yes.
Have wielded the shield, been given the title.
Yes.
So I think there's going to be some good storytelling moments that they can either completely play out or allude to, or there's just a lot of space in there that they can play around with. There really is.
Yeah. If I understand the character as much as I sound like I'm an expert at it. I think Bucky feels he's too dirty to do it.
There's that. Yeah.
He's done too much.
Yep.
Too much bad stuff. So,
but at the same time knows that he can use that shield if he needs to.
Yeah, and not only that, but maybe that's his redemption, and maybe that's why he wants it. I want to redeem myself. Well, I can't think of a better way than
and maybe better at it. I mean, Bucky's enhanced. Bucky's an enhanced human now, and Sam is not, unless they change something else in the first couple episodes, and that's why Mackie's so jacked. I don't know.
Yeah, but it should be good. We'll give our review on that as well as the next week's flyby. So, yeah, that's it, man.
No, you want to talk about Brees, man.
I did. Thank you. Yes, this will be really quick. I saved this thing because I thought it was.
When you brought that up to me yesterday, and
Mhm.
because I was on vacation and ignoring the rest of the outside world,
Yeah,
uh,
you
I
should.
had no clue.
Oh yeah, yeah.
You
He
were like,
retired. He
I was like,
retired.
what?
He retired the day that he accepted being a saint.
Really?
Yeah. So
Huh.
the day that he signed being a saint, when nobody thought he could throw a football anymore,
Yeah.
he retired that day.
Okay.
So yeah. Just a couple of things. Look, I'll just say this real quick. Drew Brees is one of my favorite NFL players of all time. He played 20 years in the league, I think 5 with the Chargers, destroyed his shoulder going for a loose ball against the Broncos, and there was a legit chance he was never playing football again. In
Hmm.
fact, he went in for the physical when Nick Saban, who is the Alabama head coach now, is probably going to go down as the greatest college coach of all time. He was the head coach of the Miami Dolphins, and the doctors told him, "You can't sign this guy. He's not. He failed the physical. You can't sign him. It'd be a liability."
Yeah.
So he could have been a Miami Dolphin, but what this guy did was he went to a town that really needed somebody to lift them up, and he did it, and he's always worn himself with class. I've always really appreciated the way he took a loss. I've always really appreciated the way that he would stand up there and take whatever bullet you threw at him in terms of. I think one of the hardest things to do that nobody gets credit for, and I think they're waiting for you to crack or yell or
Hmm.
show your human side. But 15 minutes after a tough loss to sit up there and answer, well, why'd you throw that ball in the third quarter that got intercepted? To a guy that's probably the most he's ever played was on his high school football team, and
Correct.
now he
Yeah.
thinks he's an expert quarterback. I think that's one of the hardest things to do, and this guy did it. I feel he did it better than most. So,
Hmm.
Drew, I'm gonna miss you. You were fun. You were a Super Bowl champion. You finished as the all-time passing leader with 80,000 yards. Most all-time completions was 7,142. Only player with multiple 5,000-yard seasons. Okay? No one's ever done it twice. This man's done it 5 times.
Yeah.
Most seasons leading the NFL in passing yards was 7. Most consecutive games with a touchdown pass of 54. And you were the comeback player of the year 2004. Drew, I loved you. Uh, I was always rooting for the Saints. So
He's
enjoy your retirement.
he's not going away. I mean, he got a job with NBC. He's
Yep.
gonna be so well, and that's really when everything you just said about Drew, and I've never understood hating a player that's really good. I mean, you can hate their attitude, but you got to be specific. Like, just because I know people that didn't like Drew Brees, but I'm like, but he's really good. That's like me and Tom Brady. I'm not gonna say I hate Tom Brady or that I think he's a bad player because he's
Right.
obviously not.
Right.
Um, and I'm not even gonna say I hate Tom Brady anymore. Uh, but with Drew Brees, like what he did in New Orleans, I mean, like from a humanitarian effort,
Yeah,
is
absolutely.
amazing. I mean,
Yeah.
and that's the kind of thing that you know he could have gave up after his shoulder got
Yep.
annihilated.
Hmm.
Um, but to see all the workings that brought him back, what he was able to accomplish in the city of New Orleans, all of that would have been all that hinged on him. All that good that he did hinged on him just saying, "No, I'm still playing football."
Yeah, they
So
were
that
really
is
close to
amazing.
leaving New Orleans too.
Yeah. Yeah. That to me is absolutely amazing. So I'm
Absolutely.
happy that he's not a player anymore, but I'm happy we get to hear him, be an analyst and give his opinions because I think, yeah, he's one of the masters of the game.
Yeah, I really think he is. And there's how would you rank him in your? I mean, not that you really dig into this, but I mean,
Right.
what is he? Top 10 to you or for you?
Um, Not that I've ever ranked the top 10
Yeah.
Are you talking about just quarterbacks, or you mean like overall players? I mean,
No, just quarterbacks.
yeah,
There's a lot of
definitely.
talk that he's not a top 10 all-time quarterback, and I find that very hard to believe.
I would say he is to me, out of the pure fact that if you sat me like any given day, like call me up on a Wednesday at 2 o'clock and say, Greg, I want you to name 10 quarterbacks for me right now.
Yeah, he'd
It
be
would
on
be
there.
Drew Brees is one of the first. He's in the top 5 of that list, probably.
Yeah.
And that just to me shows if a I don't want to say passing sports fan, but if someone who doesn't keep that kind of knowledge in his head at all times,
Yeah.
if you're in that category where you're in the top 5, that means you've made a huge difference in that sport.
Yeah, I just think I loved him in Purdue. He that was back in the day in Purdue, in Big Ten football where it was Wisconsin football all over the Big Ten. It was, get big beefy linemen, run it down your throat, and
Yep.
Purdue came out with, they called it a fast break on grass. That was their offense. Joe Tiller, I remember that. And in comes this guy, and he's just, I think last year he just got his touchdown record broken. Like, that's how far ahead he was in terms of the Big Ten anyway. But anyway, so Drew, I loved watching you, man. And enjoy your retirement. I'll enjoy listening to your commentary for sure.
Mm-hmm.
I think that ends it, Greg.
Probably.
Yeah. So, any last words, sir?
No, not
No?
really.
right.
I'm taking suggestions for a new tagline.
All right. Well, I'll end one then. Everybody, get your vitamin D. It's important.
Oh yeah, yeah.
So, all right. For the Greg, this is Johnny. Thank you for listening. Johnny and the Greg podcast out, guys. Take care.